All right. So I was here. All right. Now we can start. I'm Emily Lee. It was Gustafson, so Lee's a lot easier, right? But it is a lot of E's. E-M-E-L-I-E-L-E-E. It's crazy. Can I buy a vowel? So anyways, that's okay. It's just Emily spelled funny. My parents aren't super cool or anything. I was born in Sweden and that's how they spell it. And then we moved here and no one knows. They all just think I'm French or something, but they do an I here. A little different. Anyways, doesn't matter. You've got my email. Hopefully you have my email some other way as well, but there it is. You've got my cell phone in case you want to text me. Don't call me, it's weird. And I won't answer. So just, you've been warned, but feel free to text me. What I find, especially in math, and I teach a lot of stats courses, is you're working on a problem and instead of trying to explain all the things that you've already done, right? It's easier for you to just send a picture and I can look at it and I can say, oh, there it is, right? And usually I draw on your picture and then I send it right back. And then it's pretty seamless that way. So I find that works well for me. I know that's kind of weird for a lot of people, but I don't know, works for me. And I haven't had any issues yet. And and it's been many years, so works. But yeah, so if you text me, maybe introduce yourself the first time you text me. I don't delete texts or anything. So if you've introduced yourself, you don't have to keep introducing yourself, right? And that's part of the allure of texting, right? You don't have to sit down and whenever I have to write an email, I always have to, sit down and figure out how to start. Dear Emily. Oh, hey, Emily. Good afternoon, Emily. Hope you're doing well. Let's just kind of cut that out. And so texting, we don't have to do that so much, right? It's kind of implied. And so that's what I like about it. They both go to my phone though. So if you're an email type of person, that's totally fine. But I don't know, they don't feel as urgent to me. I read them, obviously, and I respond equally, but if it's urgent, maybe send me a text. My office is just downstairs in the corner. It's a shared office. If I'm here, which I usually am always, then it's my office hours. And if I'm not there, it's not office hours, but it can be if you want them to be. And so I do office hours by appointment, but not like way far in advance. If you want to text me and be like, hey, are you on campus? I'll be like, yeah, I'm just hanging out in the cafeteria or whatever. I don't know. I don't do that. I don't know why I said that, but I could be, right? I'll just be like, oh, I'll meet you in 5 minutes, right? And so I'm usually available on short notice. And so you can kind of just text or email me, see if I'm around. If I'm not, I'm happy to jump on in our Zoom room, right? Or if you're not, that's totally fine, right? If you want to have kind of a talking interaction, but you're not on campus, then this is the Zoom room that I use always. So I use it for my other classes as well. So if I have a different lecture going on, might be walking into some other lecture, but that might be fun. Business stats, right? Could be fun, that kind of thing. But anyways, so I just use the same Zoom room for everything. Well, it's mine, so that's where we can meet. Okay. I already checked to make sure that our department chair isn't in his office, but I'll close the door just in case. It makes it sound like I'm gonna say something bad. I'm not. But I am really quite loud, I think, so. Okay. You're also welcome to join Zoom for our class times. As you saw, I like to just kind of have it open. You're all adults. You can decide what's good for you. I feel like it's my job to make myself available to you. However you want to learn the material is fine by me, right? And so I do host class in Zoom. Obviously, you can't see me because that would be kind of weird. I'm like, hey guys, make sure to like and subscribe. But you can hear me and you can see my screen, which is pretty boring, right? If you're not here, then you're just staring at the screen. But it's the best I can do. So you're welcome to join on Zoom during our class times. That's totally fine. I'm thinking if you're commuting, then that's crazy. So don't bend over backwards to be here for our class. I personally think it's better to join class in person, but we all have lives and things going on. No such luck. Here we are. There is a section in the e-building. I know, why did they get a better room than we did? Although the view is quite nice for me. Yeah, I know, but I still get a nice view. And that counts. Okay, so you're welcome to join on Zoom. If you can't make it during class time, because it's a weird class time, Monday, Friday, 4 to 6, yikes. Then you can check out, I'll post the video on YouTube once I'm done, okay? And so again, it'll just be my shared screen and my voice, right? But I do try to kind of, I don't know, closed caption what I'm doing, I guess. And so I try to do that for the videos. So if you can't make it for whatever reason, you don't have to let me know or anything, just watch the video. It's kind of a cop-out for me, right? Because then you can email, oh, I had to be away. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you watch the video? No, I haven't. Well, how about you go watch the video and then you can talk to me, right? And so kind of putting it on you guys. Right now, I don't think there's any videos there. If there is, that's an error. There is not. But as they come in, I'll post them there. Feel free to check out my other videos. I've got lots of others, but probably not relevant. I have, from when I taught this course, let's see here, 697 videos. For what? And I'm not even a YouTube star yet. Be sure to like and subscribe.
You're just going through all the videos.
Go for it. Yeah. There is, I just put together, I did teach this in the fall of 2020, quite some time ago, but that's the last time I taught it, so.
You have
but it's there.
Videos from for like different classes.
Yep.
Oh, like playlist. So if I ever get stuck, if I ever get put in one of those, I could go watch the videos on it.
Sure could. I've got on here, I've got Calc 1, should have Calc 2 somewhere, business math, pre-calc, all that kind of fun stuff. Stats is more my jam, so I teach a lot of stats, data science, that kind of thing. But. All right, but there you have it. So I'll post the videos there. It does take some time for them to process, and so then I have to download them, upload them, and I just saw now I can be streaming live on YouTube, but that feels a little bit risky. So I don't know. I don't know why that would be risky, but it feels risky. All right. So lots of different options. At the end of class, I post my whatever notes I write, right? I'll just generate the PDF of that, post them, right? So that when you're watching the video, if you have to get caught up, you'll have the notes, right? And you can kind of just follow along, okay? Especially for, there are so many different types of learners. And so I find that a lot of people learn by just kind of sitting back and listening, especially myself. I always found that if I was writing the notes, I couldn't actually hear anything. I couldn't absorb anything. I was just frantically writing down the notes. So if you're like that, then you can rest assured that the notes will be posted at the end of each class. Any questions so far? Yes.
If you happen to miss a class, like if you're sick or something, will you post something on YouTube for it, or will it just be like the sub's job to suggest that?
Oh, like if I miss a class?
Yeah, if you miss a class.
Oh, gosh. Well, I never miss a class.
Oh,
Hardy stock. No, that's a good question. So usually what I do is if for some reason I'm sick, then often, like it's happened like twice, where I'll record a lecture if it's specific to what we're doing, or I'll sift through my old videos and post that. I've got backup options. So we don't really get substitutes, so, but that would be nice. But can you imagine coming in? Oh, just do a section on Carnot maps. What? Rude. Anyways, no. So I've got videos and things if that were to happen. All right. I want to hold off on the course outline, save the best for last, right? I posted my schedule. I mean, not bad. Although everyone's razzing me about how I lay out my schedule. It's on the negative y-axis, everyone keeps telling me. No one likes how I organize my calendar. Yeah, everyone wants it like this.
I kind of prefer it like this because I can actually read it and like and just see the times.
Thank you.
How do you normally see a schedule?
Well, usually I think it's like, but then Monday starts here. Anyways, whatever. This is how it is. I'm not gonna change it. I typeset it in LaTeX. Do you guys use LaTeX? It's a typesetting language. So it would be very annoying. Yeah, it's not quite fancy enough to be a programming language, but it looks like a programming language. It's all these. Anyways, so I'm not going to redo it. You'll just have to learn to read it. All right. I saw that the bookstore is saying that we should have the nature of math. Is anyone? Well, okay, you don't have to tell me now, but if you bought that textbook, you can come talk to me. We'll figure something out. Because I thought that we were using this free textbook. Yikes. Which we are apparently, but then the bookstore still has those and just hasn't updated it. Anyways, very confusing. So if you have bought it, then let me know right away. I'll march over with you on Monday, demand a refund. How about that? I don't know if that's something I can do, but I'll try. All right. So I did post the PDF as well as the download link to this this textbook that we'll be using. We do have to supplement a little bit, so I'm going to be drawing from other sources, but as we use them, then I'll post them on Moodle so you'll have them, okay? But generally, we're just going to stick to this textbook. Why am I scrolling? You can scroll yourself. All right. Anyways, so that's just an open textbook, which, I mean, it's nice, right? I think you can order, if you go to discretemath.org, if you prefer to have a hard copy, it looks like it's $29 plus shipping, And that's US. So like 500 Canadian probably. Kidding. So, all right. And just chapters 1 through 10 is good for this course. Okay? You can get the full thing, but yikes, it'd be so heavy. All right.
You get PDFs of these?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to carry around a whole bunch of textbooks.
Oh, no, yeah. The PDF is here.
Also, I think
And you can download it there.
I think I still have a PDF from last year, but that's still working.
Uh,
I had a different professor as well, so.
was it Paul?
Yeah, it was Paul.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the one who told me what we're doing, so.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny, my folder structure, this isn't important, but so I had taught it and he hadn't taught it. And so I sent him all my stuff and I have a folder that says to Paul. And then Paul taught it for, well, he's still teaching it now, but he's been teaching it for 2 years. And so it kind of morphs and whatever. And then I have a new folder that says from Paul. So got this exchange.
You guys did like if you can like stretch out everything through like a timeline, you guys went complete opposite directions. Like you started off where like we ended and we started off where you guys ended, like Sept and all that thing or something like that.
Oh, yeah, possibly. But I'll be following Paul's lead, so yeah, should be good. Unless they've updated the version or something, but anyways. All right, so that's the textbook. Steve kind of mans this math stats Discord server. I'm really bad about going on there to check it, but I know that there are others who are really, really good about checking it. So if you're on the Discord server, I'll scroll up here. Are you guys? I know computer science has their own kind of Discord.
There's like different math parts in the computer science as well.
Yeah,
There's,
right.
Like 139 for computer science, and then you take like 221 and 222.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anything about that, but there's
yeah,
like different sections on it too.
yeah, and yeah. So for math type of questions, this would be the one, I guess. I don't know anything about Discord. I have an account, but I have to log in, so who knows? Yeah, if you need math help, this would be the place. If you need me to help you, you can text me or email me. How about that? All right. If you need someone else to help you, there's the Success Center. So the Success Center, I would say you should talk to Josh. Josh would be a good resource for this course. And Kate can probably help out with a lot of our stuff. Okay. And so the Success Center, they're in the library. So you go into the library, check out the books on display, and then you keep going. And then it's in towards the right, and then you kind of curve around, and there's offices there. I think there's 3 or 4 offices. And so Kate and Josh will be in there, and it's free tutoring, right? And so they've already been paid. Don't worry about that. And so now it's your job to use them, right? And they have tutors for all different kinds of things. And usually they'll have a schedule of who tutors what and when they're there and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, so at the very least, I encourage you to go check it out, rip the Band-Aid off, make it not so scary to go in there. Who knows, you might even like it.
If it helps, the Success Center is like right beside the stairs. It's on the right hand side of the stairs. Like,
yeah.
You can't really miss it. Well,
yeah.
You can, but it's like pretty much.
And I like to post this. Have you guys seen this Grit TED Talk? We're not going to watch it. That'd be too fun. But I encourage you to watch it. it's all like math is 80% attitude, rah, 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 right? So that's kind of a fun way to start the term, I think. And it's worth a watch. It's only like, oh, I don't know, one ad long. No, I think it's only like 10 minutes or something. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Okay, that's enough. I posted the link there. If you want to get amped up for the school year, you can watch it. If not, definitely don't. Okay. All right. Looking pretty bleak, our Moodle page so far. I ran into a snag that I have to kind of iron out with Paul. There's one of the learning outcomes isn't covered in the textbook. So I don't know when we're supposed to, anyways, that's a me problem. That's not a you problem. I'll make sure that we cover it. Okay, don't worry about it. But once it's set up, I'll have each week like this. Week 1, easy, right? Labor Day, well, I put Labor Day just for symmetry, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday. And if you logged on yesterday, I did have, we were gonna start material today, but that seemed way too harsh, and no, I don't wanna do that. We're just gonna do me blabbing introductions and some trust falls. No, kidding. Just me. And then to prepare for next week, I want you to read chapter 1. Sounds terrible, but it's only 18 pages or so. You can do it. And it's on sets, which you may already be familiar with. So it's probably just review, hopefully. Okay. All right. Now. Oh yeah, the course outline. Let's see here. I've got in here. Okay. So it has all the same information that we talked about. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the pickle. Exponents and logs. Complex numbers. Couldn't find a version of this course that ever included complex numbers. I'm not entirely sure that you would ever really need them. So anyways, but exponents and logs are important. So we should probably incorporate that somewhere. Anyways, but that's okay. I'll do an extra little snippet. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Textbook. Okay. And like I was saying, there are some topics where I'll post the extra kind of sections from different textbooks, but the majority of the topics that we're covering are from this textbook. Okay. So here, chapter 1 is on set theory. Okay. Notice that Paul, he snuck in just the one quick section from chapter 4. That caught me off guard. I'm like 1.1, 1.2, 4.2. It's not a typo. So just beware, but as long as you read chapter 1, you're fine for Monday. Okay. And I'll just talk about 4.2. But in general, here's kind of the lay of the land, and you can have a look. But like I said, this first learning outcome is the one that's not incorporated, so that's the one that I have to talk about. In general, I find that learning outcomes make 0 sense at the beginning of the term, but they should make a lot of sense at the end of the term, right? So we'll come back to the learning outcomes once we kind of know what's what. We're going to be doing assignments, obviously. They're going to be mostly electronic on Moodle, okay? There are going to be some times that I might want to just see how you did it, okay? But in general, not really. It depends on the topic, right? We're gonna do 2 tests, 20% each. I keep it kind of lofty with the 40%, right? Because if I lock into 2020, then there's no wiggle room for me. But I know there's usually a good test and a bad test, but I look at that at the end of the term, okay? In general, I want everyone to have a good mark, right? So I'm not out to get you. I'm trying to get everyone as high as you possibly can. So do with that what you will. Final exam, 40%, which is cumulative, of course. Okay, and it'll be in the final exam period. And that's that. Any questions so far? Yes, good call. You need to get at least 45% on the final exam in order to be able to pass the course. So thank you. It's important. Because sometimes, I mean, depending on what program you're in, sometimes you might only need 20% in order to pass, and then you kind of don't do that well. And I get that strategy, but don't do that here. I like to think of it as you need to pass the final to pass the course. That seems reasonable, right? I think everyone's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But then as soon as you start talking about the 45%, me personally, I'm like, well, that seems unreasonable, but it's actually lower than the one that I'm okay with. It's weird, right? Anyways, yeah, so just think of it as you have to pass the final to pass the course, and then there's a little bit of wiggle room, and yeah, it's not going to be a problem. Okay, so yes, but that's good. So you do have to write the final, you have to essentially pass the final, and then you're free. You're allowed a calculator, a non-programmable, non-graphing calculator. Although, as long as you don't tell other people, I don't care, you can have a graphing calculator. If you have a graphing calculator that you know and love, go for it. I don't. And honestly, if you spend all that time programming it, joke's on you because you learned that stuff. This, oh no, it has to be right. It's not working. Oh, and then you really figured it out. So I like this one, but anything like this. On test days, I do have a bag of calculators that I'll bring just in case you forget one, you don't have to freak out. But there's only like 7 left. But the numbers kind of ebb and flow throughout the term. So there's always some left behind. I throw them in the bag, and then yeah, it's a natural life cycle. And you can always rent them or borrow them, I guess, because it's for free from the library, just for the day or whatever. If you ever need a calculator.
Can you also do that with laptops? Like,
yeah,
laptop for the day?
Sure can. And I think it's free for the day, and if it's overnight, you have to pay or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that, right? Yeah. Yeah, they've got all kinds of fun stuff that you can do. All right. I will give you a formula sheet, but I don't like to do that on the first day because it can be kind of scary, and I don't want to do that. I like to ease everyone into it. These important dates, obviously you made it here, first day of classes. It's on Wednesday, you're here, probably warmed up already. Is that a question hand or just a resting hand?
I was looking at the course outline, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a thing, but chapter 4 is missing.
We're not doing it.
Okay.
Besides in that little section in chapter 1. Yeah, there's some sections that have been cut out. Okay, we've got a lot of holiday Mondays. Kind of weird for a Monday, Friday class, but we'll make it work. That's fine. The only one that is super, super important that I like to point out is the last day to withdraw with a W, okay, is October 27th. And the reason I point that out is just because by October 27th or 26th, probably ideally, you'll have a really good idea of if you're about to fail a course, not necessarily my course, right, but any course, okay? And so at that point, if you see no way out, then failing, you should withdraw, okay? And so it's just strategic. A W does not count towards your GPA, whereas a fail does, okay? And so if you've withdrawn, then it's not, you're not penalized, right? But sticking with it and just kind of sweeping it under the rug and whatever, that's gonna get you. Okay, so I like to point that one out just because it's important, right? We all wanna have a good GPA. And of course, the last day of class is December 7th, which means we lose a Friday because it's a Thursday. So we're getting chopped all over the place, but that's okay. Exam policies, academic integrity. I think you guys all are in that Moodle thing that they've set up. Academic integrity, whatever. Just don't cheat, okay? It's really hard for me. So then I have to go to dean's office, I have to talk to you, and it's very traumatizing for both of us. So just don't. Be nice to each other and be nice to me. That's the conduct policies. Accessibility services. If you feel like you need accessibility services, there are many different reasons why you might. Then you can go chat with them and see what the deal is. But I don't. I get a letter from them once they've accepted you, so I don't put that forward or anything. And very important, there's counseling services. Again, they've already been paid, so you may as well use them. All right. There was something else that I was going to say, but now. And also, usually that spiel takes me 50 minutes.
1:33.
I know, that's why I'm skeptical. That means that I've missed something big. Right? Is that a good gauge? Well, it usually takes me this long.
Normally watch the TED Talk.
No, I'm not that nice. I guess we could, but I'm not gonna waste your time. Well, this isn't usually on my roster, but I am curious. What is your guys' preferred kind of class? I know it's hard to ask a group, but do you guys know each other? Some of you? Okay. Because I mean, I'm flexible, I'm willing to get jiggy with it. I've never done a flipped classroom. I can do that. Where the idea would be, so my traditional lecturing style is just that. It's just me talking at you, and I know that's not very fun, but all I'm really doing is reading you the textbook. I'm not reading it to you, I'm kind of summarizing it. I'm giving it back to you in a way that you just hear it instead of you have to read it. But I also recognize that that's not really that fun. That's just, you know, how I was taught and how I do it. And but I am open to suggestions. if we wanted to do kind of like lectures on one of the days and then just work through problems on the other day, or half lecture, half problems, right? Kind of just bring in problems, work through these. Maybe I'll tell you my idea. So I'm thinking I blab on Mondays while we're still fresh. And then at the end of Monday, I give you the questions that we're going to work through on Friday. If you've already done those and you feel good about those, well, then you do the math. Then you don't need to come. But if you do need to work through those, right, then that would be what the Friday class would be for. I don't know. That's just one thing, just because we've got this like weird kind of schedule going on. Some kinks, realizing with the holiday Mondays, but I'll figure that out. Do you guys feel good about that? We'll do like a off with his head type of situation.
I thought Monday.
Yeah, is this off with his head or?
I thought Mondays were a different section of class, like a different like class.
Oh,
So I just read my schedule and oh wait, we have this Monday and Friday.
Monday and Friday, 4 to 6. How about that? Because then you guys could maybe have a Friday afternoon. I'll be here, but I don't know. Misery loves company, I guess. No. But that's what I'm kind of jumping off with for now. How about that? And if that's a concern, then please contact me. But not right now. It'd be too on the spot for you. All right. Any questions? Yes.
I don't see any term dates posted.
It's because of that material, the exponents and logs. I'm going to talk to Paul and see where he does that. And then, yeah, you'll have them next week. Yeah, so the only times where you have to come to class is for those tests. I remembered what I usually say. It's not 20 minutes worth, don't worry. What I do is things come up and whatever, but I don't offer makeup tests. Okay, what I do instead is I just shift that weight to the final exam. Okay, so I don't care why. Okay, and so then you think, well, then why wouldn't I be strategic about it? If I'm not going to do well on this test, then why wouldn't I just skip it and shift it to the final exam? How about this? If you do better on a final exam or on the final exam, I should really do it for just one test. I should. Okay, fine. You're allowed to skip one test. Yeah, I'm changing it on the fly. And I'll shift one test regardless to the final exam. How about that? And so then if your final exam is better, I'll just pretend you didn't show up. Shift it to the final. Done. Okay. I can't do that until you've written the final exam, of course. Usually people are like, hey, I thought you said you were going to shift it to the final exam. Before they've written the final exam, can't do that. Okay, but so strategically, it's better to just go in, write the test. That way you've seen this material, even if you know it's not going to go well, right? That way you've seen the material in a test situation, okay? And so that's always better, right? It's going to come back on the final, right? So at least you've sat through it once and you can kind of pinpoint what was hard and that kind of thing.
Do you have practice midterms? Because I have a lot of classes that they have.
I do. I give you practice tests, practice finals, all that fun stuff. Everything that you could possibly need to do well. Promise. Any other questions? Are you guys okay to stop now? I can't tell. Is it okay? It's the first week. Everyone's tired anyways. All right. Then thank you. See you on Monday. and read chapter 1, would ya?